Hello, this is Sam-Erik and welcome to the show. In this episode, I'm having a discussion with a friend of mine, Greger from Sweden. We are sharing some anecdotes about the time, how we met, and what are the businesses we are both in, and also tips and tricks for video enthusiasts and entrepreneurs who want to do live videos to enhance and elevate their business. So I hope you enjoy this episode that is called Live with Greger and Sam-Erik.
Hello, Greger, and welcome.
Hello, Sam-Erik. So nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, I didn't think of anyone else who I'd like to have on my episode like you, so it's really a proud moment for me too, and that we are both here live on LinkedIn.
Definitely so. Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking to give a little bit of a backstory how we know each other, because we have never met physically, but we know each other digitally. What's your take, and how do you know me?
Well, actually, we met a couple of years ago online through another community, a live streaming community, the Live Streaming Pros. A big shout out to Laurie and David and their team. If you don't know about Live Streaming Pros, it's an online community. They do trainings for live video. And they have their own community thing going, and they do a lot of live streaming. And basically what we ended up doing, we were in the same group, I think, just around getting started with live streaming, just basically taking live streaming more seriously than maybe just only trying with a phone like this once or twice. So I think that's the backstory, and we kept in contact ever since.
Yeah.
So, and we do a lot of live streaming, both of us. We do a lot of. I do a lot of not only live streams. I do a lot of content creation with video and based around video. So, yeah.
Great.
That's the backstory.
Yeah. Well, I remember you very well because there are two things I remember specifically about you. We did a very interesting. In this other community, but it was called LIDA, Live Every Day in April, I think it was called. And the idea was that you go live every day for a minute or so, and there was a task for every day. And I remember seeing you walking around with the cows. I remember that very well.
Yeah, yeah. So where I live in Sweden, it's about an hour south of Stockholm. It's called Nyköping, and just behind my house, there's a lot of trees and bushes, and also a lot of cows during the summer. So it fitted quite well. I was out taking walks, and I did a lot of different experiments. Actually, I did a lot of live streams just with a phone, which is really great when you're starting out. Just grab the phone and do a live like this. But I also did these like multicams videos live. So I had like 3 cameras hooked up to the computer. I had a drone, and I did all this crazy stuff just to push and see how far I could push it. I turned out I could push it pretty far.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Do you remember your first time you went live? How was it? Or how was that experience?
I think it was quite fun, actually, but I should probably back up a little bit, because if you've never done anything that has to do with video before, it can be a little bit scary, I think. And in my case, I had done quite a few instructional videos before. I started producing online courses back in 2012. So I had a lot of experience from that. But with that aside, and with that said, when you go live, you get a little bit more pulse.
Yeah,
so
sure.
If you're not prepared, then it can be a little bit scary. And that's what I see with a lot of people that are just getting started, which is fine, because you need to work out maybe how to hold the camera or even just what to say. And these are all these different parts that need to come together in a live stream. But the best tip I can give, if for you who are watching, if you haven't started doing live streams, the easiest way to get good at something is actually to start doing it. So, I mean, you need to practice. So basic like bullet points, 3-5 bullet points, things that you want to talk about during a live stream. That will help you stay on track as well.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah. My experience was that I had never done live. I remember in the Lurius and David's group, they talked about live adrenaline monster. And and what it is that it really choked me up, and I was trying to be so prepared. I was doing the right thing. I was writing the bullet points, and what happened was that I had the script in front of me, and I was sitting like this, doing my live show, and I ended up never watching the camera. So my next time, I said, okay, I'll be a little bit smarter now. I put with a stick-it note with an arrow, and Luria told me that I looked too serious. So I put a big smile next to the camera. So I had to go through that way of working. And that's how it is for all of us who are doing anything live, that it doesn't come naturally, but we're getting a little bit better all the time. There's always something to improve in our live shows. And in fact, I have, because I'm watching what you do, so I kind of pick up some tips every once in a while that I can use myself. So I have to admit it to you now that I kind of follow you quite a bit.
That's great to hear. I mean, that's the whole idea with also the live community that Laura and David has built, and that a lot of people are a part of as well. I'm not promoting them, but I really like what they're doing.
Yes.
So I mean, it's a good thing to watch how other people are doing it, and also pick up those things that fit for you. Because I mean, all the things that we are doing probably doesn't fit your brand and what you're doing, but there are always these small things that you can cherry pick and use in your own live streams. So yeah, that's a good way to go.
Yeah, and then in a way, I heard from someone who was talking like a brand is a story, but the story is about you and not about the brand. So it is about sharing your experience, which relates to the brand, who you are, and one of the ways you can excellently communicate is through live videos or podcasts or pre-prepared videos.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I mean, in the direction that everything is going now, video is a really big thing on all networks. And here we are, broadcasting live on LinkedIn. This is just rolling out now. It's still in Sweden. There's not quite that many people that has the live streaming feature yet. So I mean, it's coming to every platform, and video overall it just keeps growing. So that's one of the main directions that I see that content is going and heading.
And besides, a lot of people are using the mobile for that purpose. And somebody told me that people who are having a mobile, it's not their device, it's basically a window to see things and to solve their problem and so on. But listen, I think we need to talk about your Hillman Academy a little bit. I think the viewers would be very interested to learn how you got started on this and what you're doing.
Sure. Okay. So just to give a small or short backstory on this. So I'm in Sweden. I'm based in Sweden, and I have a background in music. So both me and my wife, we are musicians, and we used to work as teachers and also freelanced a lot as musicians. But then we had first one kid, and then we had another kid, and we actually didn't want to do that traveling. There's a lot of traveling when you're a freelance musician. You travel all over. So I actually turned to another great interest of mine, which has always been around computers and also production, like doing videos, doing websites, doing SEO, really nerdy stuff. So I turned more focus into that, and I actually started a company. So I had a company together with my wife for 7 years that focused on providing services for web development, ads for companies, doing SEO, and doing digital marketing. And then about 2.5 years ago, I almost hit like a brick wall, and that had to do with the agency was doing really well. We had a lot of business, but we hit like almost like a glass ceiling. So we were at the point where we either needed to hire people or entirely change our business model. And we actually decided to go another route because, as mentioned earlier, I've been doing like online courses and stuff like for music. And so for saxophone, I play saxophone. I started doing that in 2012, and we actually decided to switch our business model to an entirely different type of model. So now it's a subscription model where we don't actually do the work for our clients, but we teach Swedish business owners and entrepreneurs on how to set up their own website, how to do their own SEO, how to do their digital marketing, how to produce videos like this that we're doing now, and also how to do online courses. And there's a lot of things, in that bundle of things that you can do online. So basically, if you sum everything up, it has to do with teaching the Swedish entrepreneurs, because it's all in Swedish, how to work smarter online. So that's kind of the tagline if you translate it to English.
Oh, that's very interesting. And so you basically are walking next to them in the whole process for them to set them up for success online with their business. You're walking next to with your client to set them up for success. So you're going through each step in the process for them to get the online presence, their marketing, their search engine optimization, the websites, etc. So is that how I understand what you're doing?
Yeah, and the thing is now that we have a membership. So it's a membership website where we have online courses. You can go through these courses whenever it fits your schedule. That's the basic idea, to keep this very flexible, but also to have one place to turn to whenever you're in need of help. So we have a sport forum, and we have online meetings with our members each month. So we meet, like you and I are meeting right now, but we have like a big digital room where all our members can come if they have the time to come when we set up that time. So we also we record those. You can see those afterwards. So the idea is to keep it very flexible, but also very much like step by step. Because me and my wife, we've been business owners for 12, 13 years, and we know that there's a limited time in the day for everything that you need to do. You're sitting on a lot of different chairs that you need to handle a lot of things. So the core idea here is to help those who do not want to go to, maybe don't have the budget, or they want to learn this stuff themselves, and try to keep it as linear as possible. So basically just, okay, you need to do this. This is step 1. This is step 2. This is step 3. Oh, by the way, you have a question, use the forum. So that's the basic idea. Working really well. It's a lot of fun. So we got to know a lot of great, very driven entrepreneurs in Sweden that we would not have learned about at all if we hadn't started and launched Hillman Academy about 2 years ago. So
that's excellent. What are some key struggles that starting entrepreneurs have that you have come across? Is it the content creation, or is it just to create the look of their brand, or what are maybe some initial things, and maybe that's some tips what they should pay attention to first?
Yeah, as we attract a lot of entrepreneurs that are into doing, like, setting up online courses, and also entrepreneurs that want to build their websites, and those are quite big projects. And a really common thing when it comes to the online course part of things is that a lot of our members initially want to start like on step 7 and then move forward. So it's all right, because they don't have the entire picture, and that's the whole idea. So just you want to do this, sure, fine, but look, you can't build this house if you don't have a solid foundation. You need the foundation first, And then you can set up the walls, you can set up the rooms, and build out the house. So that's a common thing when it comes to online courses. When I would say similar things with building websites or setting up a digital strategy. That it's like, I want more clients, I want more work. Yes, obviously you want more work, but you need to work backwards. You need to okay, so what are you gonna be offering? What's your offering?
Yes.
And I mean, how will you present that? How will these people find out about you? And then we're into content marketing, like producing content. What type of content fits within your brand, which fits within your niche, and also is in line with what you are actually offering. That's a huge thing when it comes to. It doesn't matter if you have like an online service or an online course. You need to, whatever you're doing as content needs to align with what you're actually offering.
Yes.
So that mentality and that mindset is also part of the struggle, I think, in this case.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all are going in the different stages in this. I mean, I get excited of doing different things, and then I somehow have to kind of restrict myself to stay focused on really.
Oh, exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah.
So, I was watching this podcast, for instance, and or listening to a podcast because I'm into that now, and learning from some great podcasts. And there was something about when you create your business model, of course, you talk about the mission and vision, and those are the key words. But then you need to also think about, how do you describe your business in one word? What is the purpose of your business in one word? And I thought that was I was like, okay, now I got to start thinking. And that was a very difficult exercise, but I had to kind of really think very hard. Not necessarily the word would be what I'm for, but what I'm trying to help people to overcome.
Yeah.
You know what my word is?
No.
My word is indifference. So the purpose of my business is not hospitality, but is indifference, meaning in lots of times in the hotels and the hospitality, there is a approach and attitude towards the customer that they're just a number, and so there's an indifference. Yeah. So this is what I'm working on, and it took me a lot of sleepless nights because it really bothered me, but I finally got to that thought, and that helped me also to build the kind of content I want to create when I do live or I talk about things in podcasts.
Yeah. And I mean the core purpose of your business, what you're doing, that's we have our core purpose, what we are doing, why we are doing things, but it also, I wouldn't say fluctuates, but it changes a little bit as you grow and also as you learn more of how you actually can serve. So that's from the point where we're coming. We want to serve the best possible way that we can our members and our audience.
Sure.
So and we also have a podcast in Swedish. So it's been running now for close to 5 years actually. So we started that way ahead of the academy actually. So and I mean we get a lot of members coming through the podcast, and that's been like one of the brand pillars that we built. And also we get a lot of messages from people that are not our members, but they just want to thank us because they listened to the podcast and it helped out so that they could take their next step, which is totally fine, because what happens then is that they become our brand ambassadors. So they're talking about, oh, you should check out this podcast, or we should check out Hillman Academy. And that's like marketing that you can't buy.
Yeah. You're right.
It's a long-term play also. So, yeah.
I just saw your comments finally come through. Jayant Kolla from Bangalore says, describing your business in one word, that's That's challenging, he says, and that's so true. I mean, I lost some weight when I couldn't sleep and so on. But getting back to since we have a number of people watching this, so could you just say where you are viewing from, so we can just give you a shout out and so on. And
Sure.
So it would be great to see. We have some thumbs up here. Thank you. We have Sari Salibi from Beirut, Jay and Kola from Bangalore. So we have a little bit of an international crowd here viewing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. But talking about podcasts, I found that it's I mean, you're ahead of curve here with podcasting, and I'm just kind of figure out, well, let me try to hop on this. And it's a different skill set. I'm still learning how to do this, but I enjoying it more and more and more. And particularly when I do the editing my audio, where I have to get rid of my ums and ahs and so on to clean up the audio. But also I found out that the way I see it, the distribution is worldwide, and there are a number of people who are listening to podcasts rather than to music. And I made a survey. I was checking out. I made a survey of people who are wearing headphones. So I was asking, what are you listening to? And yes, music is important, news, but podcast came up very high. So there are people who are UK and Australia. Those are very top countries for podcasting.
Yeah. I mean, it's growing everywhere, I think. So here in Sweden, it has grown very much over the past years as well. Yeah. So and actually the threshold of getting started producing a podcast is quite low now. So. But still, as you mentioned, you need to learn like the mechanics around it, how to edit, how to add music in the beginning and in the end, how to upload, how to distribute, and all that stuff. But if you have like a set template for doing that, I mean, maybe you won't have that in the beginning. But I should just point out, if you're in Sweden searching for this stuff, you will probably end up on my website about this, since I've been writing about this stuff for a long time. But the idea is, whatever you're doing, if it's a live like this, or if it's recording a podcast, if it's part of your business, you should make like a process for it. So it can still be challenging, because now I record the podcast along with Jenny, my wife, who's also my business partner at Hillman Academy, and we have at times the best recording sessions, and at times it's like, no, we're missing the mark here. Something just like, no, we can't do this. So that's a big difference if you have a business partner as well, that you need to get to everything to work the way it should. It doesn't show on the recording, but we know that, okay, that episode, that was quite hard to get just right. So it has the right type of information and vibe to it. So,
yeah. I got questions about how to do a podcast, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do it on LinkedIn or whether I just do a pre-recorded. But so I will tell a little bit how I got started in this, and I just started with a mobile phone and Anchor FM because that was sort of the easy way to do it. And I realized that there were so many advertisings between my wonderful podcast. So I thought, well, no, I better upgrade myself to something better than that. But that's how I got started. It was sort of easy just to pick up the phone and then to record your. It was like an audio. It was like about your personal life or what you were doing on the day. But well, that's a different story. But hey, we got Katarina Enlund from Skövde. Maybe you know her. Yeah, Katarina is here. Hey.
Yeah, Katarina, that's one of our members, so welcome.
Yeah, and then a friend of mine from Malta, Tony Namulov.
Yeah.
Good to have you here. So we got Bangalore, we got Beirut, we got Skövde and Malta in the house. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah. And just one more thing, that now we're talking about podcasting, but just going back to lives, just another tip that I think that especially when you get started, you can get a little bit sidetracked with. If you're doing a live, now we've done a lot of lives on Facebook, both you and I. So LinkedIn, this is new. We have a little bit of lag time. We already know that. So hopefully that will improve over time. But the thing is, when you're starting your live stream, it's it can be like, if you don't have anyone watching, which you won't have at first, it's like, okay, I'm just going to sit here and wait. Now, the thing is, on Facebook, you get a recording afterwards, so you can look at the recording afterwards. And you should, if you start your live with the viewers that will watch this later in mind. So you start out like, hey, so this is a live recording, live feed, but if you're watching this afterwards, we're going to be covering A, B, C, and D. That way you get more momentum on the live, on the video from the beginning.
Yeah, you're right.
Sam-Erik, you know this better because you have the live feature on LinkedIn. This video will turn out to be recording as well, right?
That's right. So so I'm looking forward to see how, because a number of my friends are in Canada and US, and it's morning there, so I'm sure they have things to do, so they don't watch this. But and then I will have some friends in Asia, in Korea, in Hong Kong, who will be watching this. So I think there'll be a lot of replay, and I have to remember to say thank you all the live viewers, and thank you all the replay viewers for joining Greger and me today.
Yeah, you have a really global audience.
Yeah, because I do all my broadcasts in English, and that's my next challenge. I will try to do something in Finnish, so my Finnish friends will get a good laugh.
Just let me ask you this: what's the landscape like in Finland when it comes to this type of live streaming? Do you have a lot of this? I mean, in English, you can get this like all over the place. But what is it like right now in Finland? Is there a lot of companies doing live streams and using like Facebook Lives or LinkedIn video in order to promote themselves?
There are companies you see pre-recorded quite a bit. I would say if you're looking at on the hospitality side, hotels are a little bit analog still, and behind the curve of going live. You can just see going to Instagram how they're promoting their hotels. They're just taking some pictures of sunsets, but truly telling the unique story about their place is still lacking. And I have to admit, I've been talking about this since 2015 when I first joined Periscope, that how valuable it is that if you can talk to your customer through your eyes and tell what you see and it's more than the fruit basket and the bed in the room or the just the sunset. What I mentioned to them in Malta, they had the best bread, freshly baked bread there. I said, well, why don't you go to see the bakery in the morning? Let him explain to the audience how you make that bread. So, this is basic things, and because people will be delighted to learn how this is being made. I think what you see in the top chains, internationally, you see them being very active on Instagram doing things. In Finland, it's a lot of pre-recorded, and there are some young hoteliers now that are first general manager's position, and they say, "Hey, we are live on social media, but now we need to really go live and develop content, not what we think is good, but what the customers expect us." So I think there's still a way to go, but that's what I'm kind of preaching the gospel here, and that's what I enjoy doing.
Yeah, and I think there's a genuine interest also in learning about like behind the scenes. Not just in this case with the hotels, like, so this is the hotel room, this is what it looks like, but show me the staff who's working there, who will be greeting me when I come to your hotel. And as you say, this is where we get our bread from. This is such and such, who is actually the baker, and that's like building a story.
Yes.
A whole different thing. And the personal side of things, that's that's one thing that we are working on quite hard, just to, there's a distance between us. Both physically and also with the screen. It's a challenge to go through the screen to the viewer and and stay like the way that you actually are.
Yeah.
So being personal, I'm not talking about personal things, but being personal, being a person, being you, because that's the person I want. Definitely, I'm looking at it this way. So because I'm thinking all different types in this live streaming area as well. I want it to be like when you're watching a live stream, like this, where I mean, if you met me on the street, I'm the same person. Now,
that's very good.
With that said, there are certain things that you can do in the live stream as well, just to like magnify or like put more of energy into a live stream. So that's like different type of things you can do depending on how you're sitting and how you're talking.
Yes.
I'm actually projecting a little bit more than I would be doing if you would be standing right in front of me. But that's also has to do with, our viewers now, some are at their office, maybe they are riding on a bus, they are out walking, and you want the sound to be good as well. So, there's different things. But the personal side, just coming back to that, I think that's really important. And also, I don't know who said, maybe you know who said this, like, don't try to be anyone else, or rather like this, be yourself. Everyone else is taken.
Yes.
Be genuine, be who you are, because that's, it always pays off in the end.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Social Hotelier Show. Make sure to visit our website, b8bhospitality.com, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes or Spotify, so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we appreciate a rating on iTunes, or if you simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us too. Be sure to tune in for our next episode.